In May of 2025, a newlywed couple set off on what was meant to be a romantic journey, a honeymoon in the lush, green hills of Meghalaya, India. The couple, Raja Raghuvanshi and Sonam, had only recently tied the knot in a beautiful ceremony in Indore on May 11th. Friends and family had blessed them with warm wishes and dreams of a long, happy marriage. But just days later, that dream turned into a national nightmare, one that would shock the nation and expose a dark betrayal hidden behind smiles and selfies. This is the haunting story of Raja Raghuvanshi's murder, a chilling honeymoon homicide that unfolded like a Bollywood thriller, but with a horrifying twist that was all too real. It was a typical summer wedding. 29-year-old Raja Raghuvanshi, a well-established businessman, married 25-year-old Sonam in a ceremony filled with music, traditions, and celebration. No one, not a single soul, suspected that the bride harbored a dangerous secret. Unbeknownst to Raja and his family, Sonam had been involved in a romantic relationship with another man named Raj Kushwaha. Their relationship hadn't ended with the marriage. In fact, it had turned into something far more sinister. Just 3 days after the wedding, the newlyweds left Indore to begin their honeymoon in Sora, better known as Cherrapunji, a picturesque hill station nestled in the East Khasi hills of Meghalaya. Known for its misty mountains and cascading waterfalls, it was the perfect place for romance, or so it seemed. The couple checked into a quiet homestay, the kind of cozy location often chosen by those who want privacy and peace. Everything appeared normal. To outsiders, they looked like any other honeymooning couple. But what no one knew was that Sonam and Raj Kushwaha were in close contact, and there was a plan already in motion. On May 23rd, Raja and Sonam vanished. The staff at the homestay noticed that the couple hadn't returned to their room. Their phones were unreachable. Concern turned to alarm. Calls to Raja's family back in Indore went unanswered. Days passed, and still no sign of the couple. Raja's relatives filed a missing person report. The Meghalaya police began an official investigation. 9 days later, on June 2nd, Raja's decomposed body was discovered deep in a gorge in the East Khasi Hills. The location and the condition of the body made one thing chillingly clear: this was not an accident. It was murder. But where was Sonam? Had she been kidnapped? Was she in danger too? Or was she, as investigators began to suspect, not a victim but the mastermind? Investigators returned to the homestay and discovered something odd. Sonam's Mangal Sutra, the traditional necklace that symbolizes marriage in Hindu culture, and her wedding ring had been left behind. That alone was unusual. A newlywed bride leaving behind her most sacred symbols of marriage raised more questions than it answered. As police dug deeper, they began to find cracks in Sonam's story. Surveillance footage showed her leaving the area in a calm and composed manner, not like someone who had just lost her husband or had escaped danger. The suspicion deepened. Phone records revealed regular communication between Sonam and Raj Kushwaha, her former lover. That was when the real plot began to unfold. Raj Kushwaha was not just a forgotten ex. He was very much present in Sonam's life. In fact, police discovered that Sonam and Raj had been planning Raja's murder even before the wedding took place. She had agreed to marry Raja, possibly for financial reasons, while continuing to be in touch with Raj. But they both knew they couldn't continue their relationship unless Raja was out of the way. As the investigation progressed, police managed to track down Sonam and Raj Kushwaha, along with 3 other accomplices: Vishal Chauhan, Anand Kormi, and Akash. All of them were arrested. Under interrogation, the horrific truth came out. The plan had been simple but brutal. On May 23rd, Sonam lured Raja to a remote location near the gorge. There, Raj and the others were already lying in wait. Raja was overpowered, possibly drugged or stunned, and then pushed into the deep gorge. He didn't stand a chance. The murderers fled, believing they had committed the perfect crime. But they hadn't accounted for small details, like the jewelry left behind, the surveillance footage, the digital trail left by their phones, and the web of lies that began to unravel under police scrutiny. With motive, opportunity, and confessions in hand, the case was solved. The arrest of Sonam shocked Raj's family and stunned the country. A bride murdering her husband during their honeymoon felt like something out of a dark fiction novel, but this was all too real. The case drew national headlines. How could someone smile through wedding photos while secretly planning her husband's murder? Sonam and Raj now face murder charges, and all 5 accused are expected to face a lengthy trial. With the confession and evidence against them, the outcome is nearly certain. This story isn't just about a murder. It's about betrayal in its purest, darkest form. Raja Raghuvanshi believed he was starting a new chapter in life. He was on a honeymoon, in love, in one of the most beautiful places in India. But instead, he was walking straight into a trap. He had no idea that the woman he had just married was part of a cold, calculated plan to end his life. This case leaves behind disturbing questions. What drives a person to commit such a crime? Was it greed? Was it obsession? Or was it something darker? A complete lack of empathy or remorse? Raja's story is a painful reminder that sometimes the people closest to us, the ones we trust the most, can turn out to be the most dangerous. He deserved a future, a family, and a life filled with love. Instead, he became the victim of a betrayal so deep, it shocked the conscience of a nation. His death was not just a tragedy. It was a lesson, a reminder that love without honesty and relationships built on deceit can lead to unthinkable consequences. And that sometimes monsters don't wear masks. Sometimes they wear bridal jewelry.